If you're a dancer or a very flexible person and you feel a snapping or popping sensation in your hip every single time you lift your leg, there's a decent chance it has something to do with your hip flexor. That's because your hips have a bunch of range of motion and you're constantly asking your hips to do all kinds of crazy things. And when you're taking your hip to these crazy ranges of motion, your hip flexor is hanging on for dear life. And if you let it go on long enough, your hip flexor can become tight and overworked and develop into something that's known as snapping hip syndrome. And since your muscles are already so flexible, stretching this hip flexor will not be the answer. To make it happier, you have to introduce some strength and some control. The easiest way to see how much control you have right now is to sit on the ground with one leg out in front and sitting up nice and tall. You're going to take your leg and pull it up towards your chest as far as you can while keeping your knees straight. If you're a very flexible person, there's a chance you can bring your thigh all the way to your chest, but I am not that flexible. Next, you're going to keep this leg straight and then try to lift it off the ground yourself and see how far it goes. Whatever the difference is between this spot here and then this spot here, this area is all area that your hip flexor has trouble controlling. The easiest way to start to address this is to turn it into an exercise you do on a daily basis and eventually close that gap.